All right, so I'm interviewing my grandma. What's your name?
Anne Marie DePietro Gregorich,
What is your date of birth?
January 19th, 1951.
Where were you born and raised?
Born and raised in the city of Detroit, Michigan.
Did you have any children during the war?
Yes, I had two girls in 1971 and 1973, Chris and Lori.
How did you feel about the war?
Thought it was unjust, it shouldn't have happened, and it did it. The war was brought on for political reasons. It was Lyndon Johnson's problem.
Did you know anyone killed or wounded in the war?
No, when I was writing to one of the soldiers that was in the Vietnam War, and we wrote back and forth, and then all of a sudden he stopped writing. I never found out what happened to him, whether he was killed or never got notified, but I had all his letters, and he seemed like a very decent guy. He didn't have much family, so that's why most of the guys, they would give us their names, and you would just communicate with them and tell them what's going on while they were in the war, when the war was going on, different things that was happening.
How did you feel when the war ended?
Relieved. Glad it was over. Don't like wars. People get killed. Everybody's life has changed. A lot of heartache, a lot of pain. A lot of husbands that didn't come back, or wives were raising their own family by themselves. They had to go to work. No child care at that time. It wasn't like it was today. They had to leave sometimes the kids by themselves. So when the man didn't come back from the war, the woman was on their own. They had to find jobs.
Did you think it was right for America to be at war?
No. Never did. I mean, I do if they're fighting for something, but the Vietnam War wasn't fighting for anything. World War II was, World War I. There's certain wars that they did fight for their freedom, and I believed in that, and not for political reasons.
What was your family's background?
My dad served in World War II. He was a tail gunner on the B-17, where he laid down in the back, and as the plane went up, he shot down other planes. My mom stayed at home. She was expecting my older brother and waiting for my dad to come home, and he spent the whole time in the Air Force. And when he came home, he took the war pretty hard, and he drank. And he put himself into an early grave because of that, and there was nobody there to help him to go over all the issues and problems he had in fighting a war and actually killing people.
What's your education?
My education, I don't have a degree, but I've got a couple years of college.
What was your occupation during the war?
My occupation, at first I stayed home, took care of the girls because I had no one to watch them. I worked odd jobs. I worked at Penny's. I worked sales, retail. I worked at the hospital. I had many jobs just to support the family.
Do you remember who you worked with?
The different people that I worked with, sure, and I still remember them. Some of them have passed on. I've had friends since 1978, and we still see each other, and we still go out with each other. We're all retirees, but we had good relationships with each other. We saw our kids grow up, get married, have kids, grandkids. We go to parties.
What did you do outside of work?
Outside of work, I had hobbies. I had pottery. I used to make different clay pots and stuff. I crocheted. I sewed. I did all kinds of different things. Collected coupons to save money. Use those.
Is there anything else I should ask you? Anything else you want to add?
Regarding the war, regarding just working and stuff, that I've seen how war has devastated families and stuff, and you hear about things, or you see people who have lost their arms, their legs, people who couldn't function in society, couldn't get a job, they had to stay at home, people that had to take care of them. There was a gentleman that lived across the street. He was in Vietnam, and he had the Agent Orange dropped on him. Got cancer, he couldn't work, and he died just a few years ago. He ended up in a nursing home. When that was dropped on those guys, they didn't care. Most of them got cancer, and they died at a very early age. And his wife took care of him in that. And she had a very hard time taking care of him because he got dementia, cancer, he was very sick, lost a lot of weight. So you see families like that and how war has really hurt them.
Is that it?
Yep, that's all for me.
Mm.
So how long did I go?